This is the Murdaugh Family Saga, Murder Part 2.
Let's get it started.
Yeah, so this is going to be part 2 of the Murdaugh Family Murder. So we do have a part 1 if you guys would like to see it. We're going to have that linked in the description below. So go watch that before you watch this video. And before we get into everything, we want to ask you guys to give us a like and a subscribe, because every single like, it matters. Every single subscribe matters. It's all very important for us. So
Yeah,
we
definitely.
appreciate
Go check us
everyone
out.
that does.
All right, so there's a thread on the freespeechforum.com where people have been talking about the Alex Murdaugh, actually the Murdaugh family situation. And it started off with Paul Murdaugh. He's the grandson of this
Yeah, you got a picture for us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's on the upper right picture,
next to mom.
yeah, the second boy on the left,
The young one.
between the mom and dad is Paul.
Okay.
And so Paul, originally, he was in this drunk boating accident that killed
Mallory Beach.
Yeah, killed Mallory Beach, and
That's what kicked everything off, right?
And
Yeah,
injured other people.
that's what started. Yeah, and some interesting stuff about Paul is, he definitely drank a lot, and there was some suspect that he did drugs and stuff as well, but so it was his friend's girlfriend that got killed,
Okay.
and so
Not even his girlfriend.
no, it wasn't his girlfriend. And before it happened, he was like hitting and spitting on his girlfriend. So, I mean, he's obviously just like off the hinge.
He's a little shit.
And like Paul, and he's dead now. But see, he killed her. And also something interesting about him is he had this alter ego named when he would get
Timmy?
Yeah, when he would
Oh,
get
that's
fucked
Timmy?
up, they said his eyes would go like blank, and then he just like
Psychotic.
completely flipped the switch.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what it sounds
Somebody
like.
on the
Exotic.
forum
Yeah.
called me the new Timmy. I
The
didn't
new
even know what that
Timmy,
meant.
Oh man, it means
Okay.
Gosh,
Okay, so-
I got a new nickname.
And then fast forward, and then Paul and his mom are found dead, murdered,
Gunned down.
multiple
Yep.
gunshots
At
at the
their
family
house.
at the family hunting lodge.
One gunshot's a hit. Multiple
Yeah,
and
gunshots
this
is
is-
personal.
Well, that was 3 months ago.
This family's balling, their family had been in the court system, federal court system
Right.
with South Carolina for years. They got more money.
I think
Three generations.
From 1920.
Yeah, it was
something
way.
like that. Somewhere
And so
around there.
they got hunting lodges. They got their own island. They have like Murdaugh Island.
Oh, wow.
But at the hunting lodge, Paul and his mom were found shot dead. And something interesting about the hunting lodge is the idea was that he acquired it by Alex Murdaugh, Paul's dad, acquired the hunting lodge because he went to court. He was the attorney for some big drug dealer. And so rather than paying him off, he gave him that land.
Oh, okay.
So that's
So is this like payback?
that's
possibly?
it's just rather than pay him, it's just like he gave him that land. So
That's good. That's good enough.
And
We
by
don't
the
need
way,
money.
so the reason I know this information is there's multiple people on the Free Speech Forum who are like in South Carolina, and this is really close to him. And like one guy is actually got connections. His sister's married in that family. Like, so,
Oh, wow.
So we have a lot of like
Inside details for sure.
inside information. Okay, so they were killed, and that's all big news. And Alex was the one that found him. Alex was the older guy on the upper right of that picture. And so there's been lots of theories, that Mallory Beach's parents killed.
He was the
Paul
son
and
in
his
that
mom.
picture, right?
Yeah, and then there was a theory, but it's beginning to look more and more like Alex was involved. Was responsible, the
Right.
dad, because whatever reason, maybe he's a psycho, maybe he's got an alter ego.
He
like
had a major
Timmy.
drug problem as well, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Major heroin.
Yeah,
Embezzling from the firm.
And so,
I mean,
so
he
that's
was
just,
working with the drug dealers.
That's just another piece. Okay. Well, then all of a sudden, Alex gets arrested. He turns himself in. But a lot of people automatically connect it, and they think it's related to the murder of his son and his wife. But it actually has nothing to do with
Have
the
we
murder.
got that shot of him in the courtroom?
I don't.
I think it's our only
He's got a
picture.
towel over his head
Yeah,
like he
so-
just came into the locker room.
Alex was the one on the upper right. So,
Yeah.
The son.
Well, I saw a photo of
I'm
him
sorry, that was the
today.
father in the upper right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he had come into the courtroom, and so he had kind of a half Jesus look of towel over his head, like he said he'd been bawling like hell. And someone that was covering the story said, "Yeah, he was crying because his ass got caught."
Well, like hey,
loved it.
he knows how it works, so
Yeah,
I'm
sure
sure
as
he's
hell
working the
does.
system. One more interesting point I'll cut off to too is there was a homosexual kid named Stephen Smith who got killed in 2015-ish,
Right.
Yeah.
and it said he got hit by a truck on the back road on the way
Yeah.
home to his house. But turns out afterwards, Paul's older brother, Buster, the other kid in the picture, supposedly Buster was having some relations with this Stephen Smith kid. And also, Alex was connected with this kid too. And so there's theories that they were involved in killing this kid back in the day.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like you look into this family and there's freaking
Well,
psychos.
all of this, it sounds like they're all psychotic, and it sounds like they all know how to work the law, the system.
Oh, of course they
I
know
mean,
how to work the
yeah,
law.
If you have 3 generations, I mean, nearly 100, maybe it's 100 years of law experience, especially in one city, you can sweep anything under the rug just about.
So Alex's dad, the granddad of the family, basically if anybody got in trouble, anybody with any connection in the family, you would call their granddad. He would get you off the hook.
Here comes the
immediately,
cardboard box
It's
with
like
100G.
Don't call the cops. Don't call anybody else. Call the granddad because they
took
got
care of it.
connections with the police. I mean, this is going all the way up to like connections with federal judges and like payoffs.
Right.
It's going at the national level. Okay, so the big kicker to me that just kind of blows my mind is there's another situation tied to the family, which is the housekeeper. There was a
Right.
housekeeper that was killed.
She died in a fall
She
accident.
fell down
supposedly.
the stairs, okay?
fell down
At
the
62 miles per hour,
So
they
here-
measured it.
Here's what, and so Alex turned himself in for insurance fraud. Okay, so she fell down the stairs. She was covered by insurance. Okay. Alex had been encouraging their sons to like file it this way and do it this way. And he had them set up this structured settlement, with this company. And it was something LLC. And he did this all along the way to help her kids out get this money. And, he told them it was going to be like a $2.3 million settlement.
Right.
Okay. And he kept telling them it was like hung up. It was hung up. It was hung up in the system. We'll find out later that Alex took the check from the insurance company
Wow.
and went to his bank and cashed it under
Uh-huh.
a name that was very similar to the financial advisors that were going to set up the structured settlement.
Yeah.
And it actually ended up being $10 million.
Oh.
So this housekeeper that was killed in their house, the son should have received insurance money, life insurance money, and they found out that Alex had cashed the check because they know how the system works.
Right.
And
Yeah.
all of his lawyer buddies were covering up, they had to run so many schemes like that. They just knew how things
This
would
isn't
work.
you don't just pull a $10 million scheme like that once.
Yeah,
have
you don't
to
do it by
build up.
yourself. Yeah.
You don't do it by yourself,
They're
and
professionals.
yeah, I mean, yeah, seriously, I mean, yeah, that's a good. I mean, really, it's a good word for that. You don't just jump up. You don't just jump into the deep water. You start in the kiddie pool, and then you work up and you work up. So this was
Right.
not their first rodeo. There's no way.
It's like a mafia story kind of, and
It
it's
is.
like you always have the mafia build up, and they they're doing good mafia business, and they get real strong,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden the kids start getting entitled, and they start going off. It's kind of like
Yeah.
the Godfather story. They get entitled, and then they start thinking they're untouchable, and then they start doing crazier and crazier shit.
Well, I think we've got the license to get out there on a couple of things. One, I'd want to mention the drug dealer with the island, the hunting lodge.
Yeah.
You don't get that selling crack.
Right. Yeah.
You're selling heroin, man.
Right. That's a
All
drug
right?
kingpin.
And guess who was addicted to heroin?
Right.
Paul. So he's got him right where he wants him.
Alex was the
I
one.
mean, Alex
Yeah.
says, so look, man, I'm going to give you the best stuff.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about a thing. It'll always be here. You just take care of me every now and then when I need it. But you enjoy your parties and your heroin. You do. Just don't ever mention my name, and I'm going to take care of you, man. And, you know, he could have gotten in this. He could have been shooting a couple of people down like, okay, you did what I told you not to do. Your mom and brother are going to be gone.
That's definitely a theory.
The drug business is not a business you want to get into because people have very short lifespans in the drug business. And if you think, oh, I can get into the drug business because I have all these lawyer buddies and I'm a lawyer and my whole family's been in the if you think you can overpower the drug business with your law business, I'm sorry.
It sounds like they were working the system for a while.
Well, it sounds like
they didn't get busted through this drug scheme, but it's all falling back out.
My thought is you can stay ahead of the game for a little while, but it's going to catch up.
They were obeying orders. What better for a big drug pen to have one of the most powerful legal families in the flipping planet on the damn coast?
Yeah, I think Bob makes a great point, though.
But
This is a drug kingpin.
If you want to see how really the police got their fraternities of murder and keep shit running, you watch The Departed. That is a Martin Scorsese film.
That is a good movie.
And, buddy, it tells you the way it works. And you will sit there and just have your nuts fried. I mean, it is awesome.
You want a cranberry juice, Bob? So, that's pretty much all some extra details we missed out on last week.
Where do we go from here, though? So what's going on? Is South Carolina law
It's
enforcement
so crazy, man.
investigating Alex for everything?
FBI's involved. Like I said, there's implications with payoffs to people up the chain.
Yeah.
Big state government people, federal people, state senator. Like one of the there's like politicians involved.
Dominoes are falling.
Yep, and these politicians were basically covering for him. Because it's just the good old boy network. I mean, you'll find them everywhere, and sometimes they hadn't gone off the hinge or whatever.
Eventually, you do something that you don't check or you don't cover your steps.
Are they investigating the fake suicide or the fake?
Oh
homicide?
yeah, we didn't even touch on that, but he said there's like 10 shell casings by him and. He got hit in the head or something, and like he was
superficial wound.
Did he even get hit in the head? Was that rag to cover the fact that he didn't get hit in the head?
It's like, what's next? I think they're going to find like aliens were anally probing him, and that's why they.
Is it okay to throw in something about the murder case we just finished up with? What's the guy's name?
Gabby
Petito and
Brian
Laundry.
Yeah, he's got buddies, right? He's been along around. What if he's on that little island and the mom makes a phone call, or he does, and says, John, come on down, pick me up at 2 a.m. by the lighthouse. And that son of a bitch is in Guadalajara. They sail off the coast all the way down to Houston. Well, think about it. That would make sense if he was still devious and smart. Get to the damn beach, and I'll come and pick your ass up.
He's out on bail, right?
Who, Alex?
Yeah.
I'm not sure about that, but
I thought he was free without even monitoring.
Yeah, so something that Bob mentioned, it sounds like it makes sense. He's got all the connections, but Bob mentioned some of the Gabby Petito case, and so make sure to watch our other podcast on that.
Right, right.
And also make sure to watch our first podcast on the Murdaugh situation.
And again, that's going to be in the description below.
And it's probably so much information, so if you want more details, go to thefreespeechforum.com, find the crazy Murdaugh situation thread, and it's about 9 or 10 pages long, and it'll just blow your mind.
It is beyond belief.
People straight out of South Carolina are telling us the story, and
we're getting the story you don't get on.
That's
news.
right. Yeah. So
it's developing every day.
All right,
guys. Our
guys.
podcast is also available on all the podcast stores.
Oh yeah, Google, Apple,
all
the other ones,
Amazon Music.
Yeah,
we're on everything.
Like and subscribe, guys. If you do that, you will see everything that we post. We post multiple times a week. You'll see it all. So thank you. And
thanks for letting us do what we love to do. Thank you for your support.
Definitely. Yeah, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
See you next time.
See ya.